Hello, world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, at whatever time you may be watching this. If you don't feel like sticking around to hear what I have to say, you could skip over to this time marker here and get right to the content. However, if you are going to stick around, I thank you. This channel, it was long overdue. Back in 2013, when I first opened this account, I had a vision, I had an idea. But fear, life, and to be quite frank, the lack of giving a shit stopped me from doing a lot of things. Now fast forward to the present day, and everything is just oversaturated with the doom and gloom, drama-filled political nonsense. It has taken over the prepper space, the vet space, the EDC space. Now, with the exception of a few good men and women, we drown in the talk of World War III, doomsday, bug out and live off the land, buy this holster, buy this wallet, make sure it all matches. The whole point of this channel is for preserving the journey I take to become a better prepared citizen. I'm going to go over gear that I have, gear that I find, things that I use, things that I want to use, ideas and opinions on things, everything from EDC camping and even tactical training. Now, this channel isn't going to be for everyone. Like I said, I'm trying to preserve something. It's a video journal of my path to find the happiness in the things that I love most. Now, if I can teach, inspire, share, maybe even save people from mistakes that I've made in the past, if you can get value from the content that I'm providing, that's awesome. And I greatly appreciate that. But if not, it is what it is and we can all just keep it moving. Now, you're probably wondering why I chose to blur my face. Well, there's a few reasons for that. Most of them are going to be relevant to you. My main reason is OPSEC, operational security. We live in a very dangerous digital age now. AI is a real thing. And if you're not paying attention to what's been going on, it could be a very hazardous thing. Now, I'm not going to get into all conspiracy theories and drown out the main focus of what I'm trying to do today. So we can leave that for another discussion. But due to the nature of my career and just wanting to keep my family safe, I thought it was wise to keep my identity anonymous for now. Besides, I didn't want my killer good looks to distract you from the content I'm providing here on this channel. Now, with that said, I appreciate you sticking around and let's get to the content. I'm Jason Stone, and you just stepped into the gravel pit. Now, since we're on the topic of preserving things, let's talk about data. Everyone has Spotify, Apple, YouTube Music, you name it. There's a million services out there. Prime, Netflix, even books. Now, what happens if it all goes away? If it does or it doesn't, it's irrelevant. The bottom line is we pay for things that we don't own. Today, I'm going to show you how I preserve this data and what I use to do so. Let's go to the overhead cam so I can show you what I'm talking about. Now, a lot of the stuff that I use is fairly inexpensive and it's easy to obtain right now. Just a disclaimer, I am in no way, shape, or form encouraging you to pirate anything or obtain any information illegally. How you obtain your data and the things that you want to safeguard is completely up to you and at your own discretion. Now let's go over some of the things that you're going to need first, right? First, and probably most important, is going to be some sort of a storage device. Now, you can choose to use a regular flash drive, or you can use micro SD cards. I feel for mobility purposes, that was a funny word, mobility. I feel like for those purposes, a micro SD card is probably going to be most sufficient. You can put that in some old phones, you can put that pretty much in any sort of a tablet, or you can use one of these little SD card readers. They even make these other adapters. Samsung makes them, SanDisk makes them. You can get these very, very cheap too, maybe like $5 or $10, if that. Now, the second most important item you're going to need is something to read the files. Me personally, I went with the Panasonic CF20 Toughbook. The reason I went with this was because it's pretty much a jack of all trades. I can use this to program my ham radios, my handheld radios, and I can release this button here, if I could get it to work unlock. And now I have a tablet, and I could take this tablet anywhere. Runs on battery. It's touchscreen. It's fairly easy to use, and you can have all your files right there at your disposal. Now, the CF20 is actually probably the one that's more inexpensive compared to the other ones. I bought this a couple of years ago, and back then they weren't in crazy demand. As time has gone by, there's been a lot of hype, I guess, around the Toughbook. You know, people nowadays want the old technology, and I get it. The old technology is reliable. With that said, you could still use, and like I said, an old cell phone or a PDF tablet reader, a regular tablet. You can use an iPad. You can use an Android tablet. As long as you can get yourself an adapter that'll plug into any device that you want to use and it's capable to read the files, then you're golden. Me, personally, I prefer PDF Exchange Editor. It's a free software. They do have a paid version, and the paid version just allows you to convert whatever files you want to PDF and not have the watermark there. Now, digging into my files, as you can see, I got an MP3 folder, I have a prep folder, and then I have programs. Now, you have to figure out what items it is that you want to safeguard. Me personally, I want everything that I can, from programs to photos to pictures to maps. I want it all. I want to be able to own it. I want to be able to bring it anywhere. Now, you know, there's a lot of good channels out there that give you a lot of good literature to use. However, let's say some situation did happen and it forced you to leave your fortress of solitude. Then what? You're not going to be loading your bug out bag or your suitcase with 5 million books, prepper guides, and 20 different maps of the whole country or your local area and throwing them in your suitcase, taking up room for vital stuff that you would need to take, right? All you would have to do is grab this device. I already have my micro SD card with all my information put into the tablet portion of this device. So let's even say that my keyboard crapped out. I can just release the tablet from the keyboard and just take this, toss the keyboard. I don't need it. Now, I have thousands of music files here. All different genres, hip hop, rock, metal, Latin music, country music, punk. I'm the type of person, I listen to a little bit of everything. But even if I didn't, at least I have this stuff backed up. We are coming to a time where there's a lot of censorship and things being taken out of history. They're erasing stuff. If they ever decided to erase certain music genres, I mean, I'm not saying that would happen, but let's say that they did. At this point in time, anything is a possibility, right? So as a prepper, that's the whole idea, is to prepare for what may come, not what you exactly think is going to happen. Realistically speaking, you may have to bug out of your house because of a natural disaster, a fire or an earthquake, not the zombie apocalypse or not World War III or not civil unrest. Now here I have maps, a bunch of different maps. I encourage you to make sure you obtain maps from your local area. And here I have radio programming documentation. This all stems from Chirp and the specific software that each one of my radios use. I even have some software in here for radios that I don't have, just in case I may obtain one in the wild one day. You never know. Reading literature. Now, how you obtain these books, you could do in one or two ways. The one way that I found most useful is a simple Google search, and whatever it is you're searching, you just type in PDF at the end. 9 out of 10 times, a PDF version of it will pop up. There was also a really good site called the Internet Archive. And if you go to the Internet Archive, They have tons of books available for free download. I do encourage that you use a VPN when using the internet and wanting to download anything off of the internet. It's important to keep things anonymous. I can't stress that enough. Now, as far as topics go, I have topics for pretty much anything and everything, from woodworking to water, trapping, how to fix toilets, food, how to make footwear, foraging plants, fitness. There's emergency prep guidelines here. There's cookbooks, crafts, cement, and then for me, I think very important, and also for my family, books. I have encyclopedias, fiction, graphic novels, sci-fi, history books. You name it, I've been trying to download it, keep it, and preserve it. I have books on weapons. I also even have religious books. Now I have all different types of religious books here. Everything from the Bible to the Torah to Dead Sea Scrolls, the Book of Enoch, Norse mythology. I think it's important to have a little bit of everything. And, some of them have really good stories. Some of them are very entertaining. Whatever you choose to believe in your life, that's up to you. Me personally, I like to have a plethora of knowledge of different perspectives throughout history. Now, I also have videos. Now, videos can be obtained many different ways as well. The method that I prefer to use is a program called HitPaw. That's HITPAW. Hotel India Tango Space Papa Alpha Whiskey. Now, that particular program allows you to actually go on YouTube and share the file to the program and convert it to an MP4. And this allows you to basically take instructional videos off the internet and keep them for yourself. And I keep all of that inside my prepper files here. Videos on communications, radios, whatever devices you may have. I have an InReach Mini and another Garmin satellite communicator. I went on YouTube and I looked up instructional videos on how to repair it, on how to use it. And then I also downloaded the actual manual for the device itself. And I keep all of that in these files. This way, internet goes down, you don't have access to something, and you run into a problem. What do? You can't just Google it, right? So whatever items that I may have, I make sure I download those first. Same thing with first aid. CPR. Now, I'm CPR certified, but however, somebody else may need these instructional videos. My children, not my wife, because she's into preparedness as well, and she's CPR certified, first aid certified, you name it. But somebody in your community, they may need this information. I can simply take this tablet, pass it off to them, and let them watch the video. How to stop bleeding, a lumbar puncture, how to suture. The beauty about all of this is that it's absolutely free. The only money that you have to spend is on the device that needs to read the PDFs. But I'm sure, like all of us, we have some sort of device that's laying around collecting dust that we don't even use. Realistically speaking, you can just use your actual phone that you use every day if you really wanted to. Like I said, all you need is an adapter that would plug in to whatever device that you're using. So this would be USB, right? And in my case, my charging port on my phone is Type-C. So you would need an adapter USB to USB-C adapter, and you'd be able to plug this directly into your phone. And the other item that you would have to purchase is the actual item that's going to be holding the data, whether that be a USB stick or a micro SD card. Other than that, this could all be completely free. The HitPaw video converter that I used, that was a paid software, but it was a one-time fee. It's not subscription based, and I can use it forever for as long as I want. It's constantly getting updates to add new things. Total disclaimer here, because I'm not encouraging this, but there are some tools on that video converter that allow you to do things that may not be legal. As far as downloading certain content that may be copywritten that you shouldn't be using. Again, you do what you want to do at your own discretion. I am not encouraging anybody to break the law. Now let's recap. In order for anybody to execute this task, you need either a flash drive, USB stick, a micro SD card, and something to read the micro SD card. Okay, all of these things can be found on Amazon fairly cheap, or you can find them in the wild at a thrift store. I personally purchase a lot of the stuff off of Amazon. The second thing that you're going to need is a device to read the PDF files, whether that is a tablet, an iPad, your phone, or some sort of extra laptop or old laptop that you may be using. Like I said, me personally, I like this Panasonic Toughbook. It serves my purpose and my needs. It does everything that I need it to do. Now, secondly is sourcing your files. I'll leave a couple of links down in the description that will bring you to a website called Internet Archive, the one that I mentioned earlier in the video. That site has a plethora of different things, from software to books to pictures to videos. I encourage you to search the site and not get discouraged. Sometimes the site can either be a little laggy or certain things are just not that easy to find. Besides going to that site, you can also just use Google. Like I said, whatever you're looking for. If you're looking for cooking manuals, you can type in cooking manuals space PDF search, and a bunch of PDF files will pop up with different cooking manuals. You can sift through them, see whatever you want, or you can download them all. The more information, the better, in my opinion. I am not solely just trying to gather the information that I necessarily want. I'm trying to gather the information that may be useful, not only to me, but to other people. I'll leave a link in the description to all of the software and programs that I use. Again, these are just the programs that I use personally that work for me. There may be other stuff out there. I encourage you to do your research and see if there's something better out there. And if there is, leave a comment and let me know what you use. Is this something that you already do? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to talk about it and see your method of doing things. Now, a while back, when I was starting this whole journey and putting this together, there was a channel on the Telegram app called the Prepper Collective. I'm not really sure if it's still there, to be honest with you, but at the time, he had a link to pretty much a collective of files that people have contributed to over time. I clicked that link and downloaded everything that was in those files. He had tons of books. Most of the books that I have here, a lot of the files were from that link that he shared a few years back. Now, a lot of this stuff is easily sourced on the internet. You can do a simple Google search and you can find pretty much anything in PDF format. And if not, if you can't find a PDF format of it, I have come across certain instances where it's just a text file. Now, depending on how tech savvy you are, you can take that text file and convert it to a PDF using that PDF Exchange editor that I mentioned earlier. Now, if this is something you want me to go a little more in depth on, let me know in the comments and I can make another video showing you a detailed step-by-step process on how I convert text files into PDF format, or actually going through the internet and searching certain things and how I downloaded them. Now, I encourage everybody that's going to use this information, whether you're surfing on the internet for PDF files and, trying to make your own little prepper collection, please use a VPN and be safe. Do not do anything that is illegal. Do not pirate anything. Obtain all your knowledge and all your sources legally. I had to say that. Consider this a backup plan, okay? Everything that is on here, right? But I do have a OneDrive account. And on that OneDrive account, I also keep these folders. Reason being, I can now take this, share it with friends and family. Now everybody within my community can have access to these files. They can download it, they can put it on their SD cards or their flash drives, and then they can use it for themselves. They can even add to it. So let's say Cousin Ricky in Kentucky decides that he found a bunch of useful information that he wants to add. Simple select, drag, and drop into the folders, and boom, everybody has access to it. It truly is a beautiful thing to have. Now, this doesn't just go with maps, programs, books, music, videos. What about movies? You can totally do this with a bunch of movies. I have a 28 terabyte hard drive right here connected that I use for just media, just movies. Now, let's talk about players. So, now you have all your MP3s. Okay, granted, like I said, this device does everything for me. This is my one-stop shop right here. However, I can take all of those MP3s and put it on an MP3 player. This Hi-Fi Walker actually takes an SD card right here into this slot, and you can use that to play all of your MP3s. I have all of my music on here. Now let's talk about the device that will allow you to put movies on here as well. There's a couple of different things that I use. One is this external Blu-ray drive, okay? This is good for the Blu-ray discs, obviously. I have another one here, right? And this, for whatever reason, only does DVDs. But this does DVDs and CDs. So if you come across a Blu-ray movie, you're going to need some sort of a Blu-ray drive as well. Now, they do sell the ones that are an all-in-one, one-stop shop also. However, I had bought this first, and then when I started ripping Blu-ray DVDs, it just, it wasn't working out. It wouldn't read the Blu-ray. So I had to go and buy another drive for Blu-rays specifically. Now, all I do is I take this drive, right, has a USB connection, and you plug this into your computer. You put the Blu-ray in, it reads, and then you use that HitPaw video converter to rip the data off of that Blu-ray or DVD, and then it converts it into an MP4 file that you can now drag and drop and put anywhere that you want. And that is how I got the majority of the movies that are sitting on that 28 terabyte hard drive. And on that particular computer, I have the streaming service Jellyfin on that computer to where I can stream any of those movies onto my TV. Now, there are other ways to source your media. Again, I'm not telling you to do anything illegal. However, whatever you choose to do is on you, right? Do you, boo. Now, I'll leave links in the descriptions for everything that you see in this video today. The Hi-Fi Walker, this is an MP3 player, and then the DVD and Blu-ray drives. I'll also leave some links in the description for the hybrid models that do Blu-ray and regular DVDs. Now, if there's anything that you want me to go over in more detail, please let me know in the comments, and I'll make a separate video showing you exactly how I do everything step by step. Today, I just wanted to showcase the things that I use and put the idea out there that there are ways to preserve your data and actually own it. Now, I know that there's other methods out there as far as Keywix, where you can download the whole Wikipedia library and keep that and store it somewhere so you can use that offline without internet. Everything that I showed you today is completely internet free. I don't need internet to access any of this. If you got anything out of this video and you have a better method, please, again, leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I would love to build a community of like-minded people so we can all survive and thrive in whatever may happen in the future. Let's take it back up top. Now, I hope everybody enjoyed today's video. Like I said, if there's anything that you want me to go into more detail about, let me know down in the comments, and I can make another video showing everything step by step on how I do this and how I execute everything. If anybody has a better method, different tools, different programs that they use, leave that in the comments also. I'd love to hear back from you, and I'd love to learn new things. Maybe something you're doing is better than what I'm doing. That is the whole purpose of this, so everybody can learn from each other. This, in my opinion, is how you grow as a prepper. Maybe not just as a prepper, but as a human in general. We all need to learn from each other. Because God forbid, at some point in time, when it does all go to shit, we are all going to need to rely on each other, whichever way that may be. I appreciate each and every one of you that took the time today to watch this video and join me on my journey. I'm Jason Stone, and this was The Gravel Pit.